Hi, David here with suicidefishing.com. This is a YouTube TV reel, not a reel, but vlog. I wanted to clarify a couple things regarding how I blog. I do all my reels, 60-second or less. I put on my Facebook page at Suicide Fishing, the page, obviously, Facebook. And then my longer versions, such as this one, go to Suicide Fishing TV on YouTube. And so I do a little bit of both. The reels obviously are just sort of precursors and give you a little bit of an idea of what you can find in a longer version on YouTube, Suicide Fishing TV YouTube. And so anyways, I just got done doing a reel because today is sort of a rumble day. We're doing a lot of different things, and it's housekeeping. The small things that need to be done, so we've got fiberglassing. We're cutting and fitting the casting deck and making it match up to the anchor well. We just can't get an exact measurement until we dry fit and it looks good, but things, what's amazing is how things change from a dry fit to actually stick it in. and gaps are wider or they're narrower or it doesn't fit because you got to trim it, and you're trying to figure, and before you cut it, trying to figure out what was going on, what were we doing before that made us cut this wood the way we did, and you know how that goes. You measure twice, cut once. But here's a synopsis of what we're doing for the day. And oh, by the way, I'm calbo, Filipino term, calbo. Wala bigote, wala balba sako. I'm bald again, and I don't have a beard or a goatee anymore. So here is what we've got going on. Here's the anchor well, and we are fiberglass. You see Dennis there, he is fiberglassing, and what he's done is, because it's a rounded edge we have there, and the piece that he's working on is actually part of this rounded edge that goes into the body of the boat. And so and irregardless of how careful we are, air bubbles get in there. And so it's time consuming, but he's managing the air bubbles, what we call, in the Philippines, what we call mano, meaning that you just sit there and you do it on your own, and manage it. And so nothing automatic, it's anti-automatic. So we don't have any tools to wrap around. We're not using the peel fly on this, because this is an area where it's highly visible, and I don't want people to see any mistakes when they look at this boat. And so that's what he's doing right there. And then yesterday we got the anchor well painted and the dry storage area underneath the casting deck painted. And so where is that? There's the casting deck, the top of it, and we are fiberglassing that portion of it up before we put it in. It's just going to be easier to do it on the outside here. The only challenge is it's taking up a lot of our workspace. And as you can see, this is the part of that keeps it dry. There's a little zigzag that happens between this and this right here. And so we've got this epoxied up, thickened epoxy, and we got to clean that up. And then eventually we have to get it painted, or not painted, but fiberglass on it. And so what we're working on next was what Toto's doing. Toto's been actually working on the fuel lockers the last couple days, and right now he fired in with thickened epoxy. I don't know if you can see that down there. Well, he's waiting for that to dry so he can he can then sand that down, and we're get it looking nice, and then we can paint it. So now, and what he's currently working on right now, below the casting deck, you'll see this is a little bit lower. This is the ice box, and so we wanted to get some big fish in there and a bunch of ice, because we plan on going out 50, 60 kilometers, and the last thing we need to do is the first hour we're there, we hook up with a big fish, and we got to go back, otherwise the fish might spoil, you know, and it's not fun for everyone else who doesn't get a fish. So we want a decent sized fish box, ice box, so we're going to do that. It'll double as a dry box, you know, if we decide to go out and go island hopping, or but we've got we'll get that in. Then in the where the driver sits, this box will be secured, and we can use it as an ice box. It'll be movable. We're not going to secure it to the deck. We were going to make this into an ice box, but then I don't like having a bunch of water and ice next to any of the electronics. So we'll use that as dry storage as well. And then you know, you never know, we may get 2 or 3 big fish, so we plan on we want to carry enough ice out there, and so we'll have a kill bag, a big insulated bag that's designed to put fish in with ice and keep them cool, so we can continue staying out there for a while and fishing. And so I don't know how to put a refrigerator on this yet, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But we've got the center console back in there, because we got to fit it. One of the you know, and here's the challenge. You know, you move right along, and then you realize you made a mistake, or you did something you probably shouldn't have done. And one of those mistakes was we got the firing, we got the thickened epoxy on there, we're sanding it down, and we covered up our lines, which tell us where to put the center console. And the reason why that's so important, I mean, we can measure it out, center it real easy, but underneath there, if you've watched our blogs, I reinforced that. You know, I put several additional pieces of 2x4, making essentially a nice square box that's about 6 inches wide on each side, because I want to, not because to anchoring this is no problem, but what I want to do is put a T-top on, and I want to make sure I can anchor that down very well, because we don't want to be cruising along out there and then our T-top turns into a kite and flies off. So anyways, so that's what we're working on. And Toto's got the Dremel right there, and he is cleaning out the hole where we'll stick part of the framework in there and screw and epoxy it in, so we can have a very durable ice box. And it's a little bit shorter, because we didn't want, you know, you're out there in the waves, we wanted to make the ice box a little bit lower so you can easily step on that, and then another step onto the casting deck. We don't need anybody going overboard, especially in inclement weather conditions. So I think that's it. We're doing a bunch of the smaller stuff right now, and then it's painting and then cleaning up the boat, and so that's it's getting closer and closer. So I want to give a shout out to that dude, Dennis, that guy right there, absolutely hardworking. And then my bayou, Toto, right here, this guy, yeah, he just gets down there and gets to work. And so he's here every day, both of them. But I appreciate, this is my brother-in-law, that's a bayou in Tagalog, so I appreciate his help. So anyways, it's coffee time. Gonna go get a cup of coffee. Actually, my coffee is right over there. It's cold right now. I'm gonna go warm that up. And then we're going to go back to work. So I haven't done any blogs for a while, so I think I'm going to have to do I've done blogs, but I haven't posted any. So I'm going to be probably dumping a bunch in a row. Everyone says, no, do one every other day. Well, sometimes we get things done and I want to blog about it or do a reel. So sometimes I'm doing 2 reels a day or 2 blogs a day. And so, I'm not going to put this together like, this thing went perfectly along the way. It's one thing I can tell you is, I'm looking at the other blogs I see on YouTube. And these guys are taking 2 and 3 years on their boats, and I'm like, Jesus, is it that hard? Or, and truthfully, life gets in the way. You start building a boat and something happens, or you get. There may be some financial constraints. Your wife gets pregnant, and then all of a sudden, the priority, this behind me, it gets, your boat gets put on the back burner. And so I can understand why it takes quite a while to get this done. And so I've estimated, I think maybe if you divided hours into days, I probably got about 3 months into this, and maybe less, because it rains here, so we gotta pull that tarp over. We gotta stop what we're doing. I know that everything is, we got marine plywood, and rain probably shouldn't affect it, but still, I've dumped, I don't know, maybe 8 cups of coffee onto over the build of this boat, maybe 8 cups of coffee onto this marine plywood, and it soaks it up fast. So I'm not too confident about the rain, and I don't want to put epoxy or paint on plywood that may be wet. That's not a recipe I want to put together. And so we're taking our time, getting it done right. We're every single piece of wood has got a ton of epoxy on it. Because there's gonna be areas in this boat I can't see, and and water will egress, and you just don't know. And I don't want this thing to I don't want to do anything to it. It's difficult enough to put it together and build it. I don't want to tear it apart. And just 2 days ago, I was down at Baywalk, and those guys were tearing apart a fiber mat boat. It was a Philippine-made fiber mat, and and it was a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort, and I just don't want to. I don't want to do what they were doing. And so, anyways, we'll go from there. I'll keep you posted. I'm gonna go over here and take a break with these guys. It is time for, I guess it's not coffee time, it's juice time, and grab a ear of corn. So anyhow, David, Dennis, and Toto with SuicideFishing.com, Suicide Fishing TV, YouTube, and my Fox News notification right there, and Suicide Fishing, the page, Facebook. Like, share, and subscribe. So I want you to go out and have a really, really good day. Go out and find someone you love and give them a hug. All right? Signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.